Hello, Transformers fans, and what I have for you today, yes, that's right, I have the DNA Designs DK-07 upgrade for Predaking. And I must say that this kit is actually pretty cool. There is, however, one slight drawback. I will go over that very shortly. And on the back of the box, you see most of the components that you get with this. So you have the new wings, filler piece, articulate hands, more filler pieces, and you have the combined mode sword. Alrighty, so there is one thing that this kit does not show, and just like the waste filler pieces, this is supposed to be another item that comes with the first issue of this, and as you can see, it is a new shoulder ratchet. And what you do see is the fact that there are tons of stress marks that are already on it. And the unfortunate thing is I haven't actually used this much since I initially put this in there. The one that comes with it is a softer plastic and does end up deforming without causing any stress marks. Don't ask me why. It's probably just because maybe it's a softer plastic. And as you can see, obviously the design is different. Takara and Hasbro chose to sturdy the place where their ratchets are, because that is the point of the ratchet right there for the shoulders, just on either side. And you can see where they have theirs, and their design is just completely open and thin piece of plastic, and all the stress marks are mostly designated in that spot except for right in here. A little bit closer up view, and I think this is the side that's on the verge of breaking. So hopefully they decide to update their design. This is the drawback of this kit. I just hope that I can personally end up fixing this myself. Getting one of those hobby pieces of plastic from my local hobby shop and actually super gluing this to actually sturdy this. Because, I mean, if you notice, there's a lot more open space with this. So apparently they thought that it might be sturdier, when in fact it's actually having more damage done to it. But nevertheless, I will actually show how to change that out if you haven't already gotten the kit. Oh, and one more thing. If you happen to notice, yes, they chose to sturdy the side bits because they realized after the fact that it was a misdesign, and these pieces are actually super glued onto the sides. And just so you can see it, this is from the other shoulder piece. right there. When I was actually changing them out, this one actually just came right out. So apparently the glue never adhered to the other ratchet joint. Alrighty. So here I have Rampage, and this is how I'm going to show you how to switch that ratchet joint out. There are 3 screws. Sorry, speech impediment. It happens. 1, 2, and 3 right up here. And if you notice, yes, I'm not using my usual screwdriver because this screwdriver won't actually fit in these 2 screw holes. In this one, it seems to work just fine. And I honestly don't remember which kit this came with, but it's working. It seems to work just fine. So alrighty, just take that off, take this out, set that aside because you will definitely need it for later. And take note, because this ratchet piece will come out. And this is the ratchet for the in-out movement. So you want to set that aside. And this piece will not come off if you do not take that out. Of course, it comes out by itself as you pull. And just undo and straighten out his leg or arm. And undo this screw right here. And there we go. Alright, and as you can see, it actually looks like, and I dropped that. And as you can see, as I was saying, the pieces do deform, no stress marks, and you can also see that this one, both extra pieces have actually come off. I know the one came off right out of the box, and I don't know what happened to the other one, to be honest. Alright, so you want to take this piece and you actually want it even like this with that straight line. Just set it there for now. And then wrong piece right here. And this back piece. Okay, so you just want to lift this up a bit, and this will actually sit right in here. And as you can see, this goes all the way in, except for a little bit of plastic in there, which is possibly why they felt on both copies that this part up here had to be in there. But as you can see, there is tons of space between each corner, which could have sturdied this, and they could have actually put some more in here to sturdy that, and maybe these joints would actually last longer. Alright, so you just slide that over that. And once you get that piece on, this will actually stay up. Put the other half on and just screw that back into place. And yes, obviously the ratchet portions are actually quite a bit bigger. So it does a little bit more, but because of the unsturdiness of the piece, the joints actually not lasting as long as the Takara or Hasbro version, because they actually used a softer plastic. And here we go. You put this piece back in, and you do have to wait to put that in until this piece is over the top. If you try putting that in before you push this on, this piece will not go back into place. Alright, and just keep that up over the top, and you want this to slide back into place right up in here, right up, obviously in the open area, but just keep this piece in place. It'll actually help you out. And then there we go, that's back in place, and then we screw it back in, starting with the middle, because if the middle doesn't want to screw in, then obviously it's not aligned properly. Now you shouldn't have to actually tighten them too tight, so just normal tightness to where it feels like, that it won't screw back together. Alright, so if you want to know how many times I've actually had these pieces moving since I put those new joints in, honestly, it was really only, before making this video, it was honestly only for this one side, moving it forward 5 times and moving it backwards 5 times. So I honestly could not tell you how many uses you'll actually get out of that joint, or ratchet joint I should say, before it'll actually break, because this has already seeming to do just that. Because I put everything on here, I think about 3 weeks ago. I did that little bit of movement, and it's been sitting all together since then. I haven't even touched it. So, I mean, you wouldn't think that it would be as damaged looking as it is. I haven't even checked dive bombs at all. So, I couldn't even tell you what that one looks like. It probably looks exactly the same. Alright. So, next is we have 2 new articulate hands. And this is the left hand. The other one is already attached. And do not force this past a certain point, because it won't go any further and you'll just break the plastic. Alright, and mushroom peg here, so it's got rotation there. It's got a joint here and then a joint right there, and as you can see on mine, this one is a tad bit loose, but oh well. And then we have joint right here at the base, joint here, and a joint here on each finger, and we actually have some joints so we can get a good splaying of the fingers. And if you like the way I had the Devastator's hands, good grabbing pose, you know, for the puny Autobots. And another good feature of this is there's a panel here. If you open it up and move his fingers, you get the awesome hand spikes. Yes, he does have the hand spikes. Now, the plastic on these hands is just a regular gray plastic, a little bit darker, because obviously this one is like the metallic-y, flake-looking plastic. So, but pretty much the same kind of design. It varies slightly. Oh, and also, there is a wrist joint right in here. So you should be able to get some pretty good poses from the hands. Alright, and as you can see, it works on a mushroom peg, and it just uses the base of the hand connection that comes with it. So, easy to put on, easy to take off. Alrighty, so that is all set. Alrighty, this is a filler piece for his back. Obviously you can see that it looks like a spine. Kind of cool. Well, a little bit of thrusters here done in gold paint, and that is pretty much it. Alrighty, obviously you can tell this is not like my usual reviews or usual upgrades. If you saw my Devastator upgrades, I do all of my Titan class upgrades as the combine mode only, which these kits for the Titan class are pretty much just that. It's kind of like they specifically make these just so that they work for combine mode. Even though you can use certain things for their other modes, but they're specifically just for their combined mode, just because they're so large. So I only do combined mode upgrade on here, and I tell you what you can actually end up using these items for. I mean, if you really need to see what this will look like, if you haven't gotten this kit for beast mode, actually pretty funny looking. Actually gives you a nice black and white description of where it goes and how it attaches and how weird it looks, even though it says okay, because I'm guessing that is supposed to look like Razor Claw's like rib cage area, but apparently he's got no lungs because you can see right through him. Yeah, but they do tell you that he could look pretty okay with it on his back, and actually might have some usable jetpack thrusters there. So, yeah. Alright, and I will show that when the time comes, putting him on. Alright, next thing is, this is supposed to be a bonus piece, first run only, and as you can see, these are, some double barrel cannons that you can use for robot mode, and I don't know what is going on with this plastic. I just happened to notice recently, before I started making these videos, or this video I should say, the quality of the plastic is actually pretty good, but for some reason, the wings were completely attached. They were on there for like 3 weeks, and I didn't touch them. You know, just moving the wings in and out, or sorry, in and out, and these were just sitting on there. These go in nice and easy, and there weren't any stress marks on this beforehand, on either one, as a matter of fact. And now these have stress marks, and for some reason there's stress marks on the wings. So I don't know what's going on with this plastic. I mean, it seems almost as good quality as the figure itself. So doesn't really explain what is going on with this. But as you can see, just done in the yellowish plastic, and some slight detailing in there. And when the time comes, I will also show you how to put these on. But like I said, these can be used for robot mode. Didn't really look in the instructions for beast mode usage on where these could go. So there we have that. Alright, and alright, I'm gonna take this hand back off just so that way I can show you this, and we will have to put the knuckle spikes back in for this. Just close the fingers up. And these hands actually do store in the bottom of the feet. Oh, come on, come on. Go in. Okay, now it doesn't want to go in. These can store in the bottom of the feet. I had it in there before, and for some reason now it, oop, and that came out. Okay, so it's supposed to be able to go in just like this. Oh, maybe I got the wrong foot. It shouldn't be. Okay. There we go. Okay, so there we go for that. It goes into the bottom of the foot for storage, and it works just fine. So obviously maybe I just had this the wrong, yeah, I had it in the wrong way around. So, yeah, that was my fault. Just the wrong foot. Alright. Okay, come on. Get back in there. Come on. Oh, and I'm moving my background around because this guy's so huge. Okay, come on. Well, I'm gonna have to stand up here just so I can see what I'm doing. Come on. There we go. Alright, let me put that back in. Alright, there's that. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to fix everything there. Alright, and last but not least, if you could have already guessed it, are the pieces that you get for the combined mode sword. Alrighty, so you get two of the exact same swords right here. Not really much detail, but some nice gold and silver paint on this. Both of them. And that one decided I wanted to go down. And then you have two more of the exact same thing. Well, these two are the exact same thing. Obviously, they're not the exact same of the two previous. And then you have these, which they just have some silver paint right up in here. And a little bit of detailing on there. And these can be used as like a blunt force object, or dagger, throwing knives, yeah, whatever. Whatever you choose. And I guess battle hammer right here. You got the handle right there for your robot mode. And you got some gold paint right up in here with some metallic-y green on both sides. Pretty nice. Still just a little bit of detailing on it. So, there we go for that. And I did say last but not least, but obviously I didn't do the wing. So, this is the new wing. And that is compared to the old wing. Right up in here. And they are opposite sides, as you may or may not be able to tell. This one has a little bit of lighter gold paint on it. It matches the gold paint on the feathers right there. And then you got some silver paint right there. Obviously a nice spot right here that you can put some repro labels on for your Decepticon symbol. And these feathers do open up, so you can spread them out, and they do open up quite far. So you can put them wherever you feel like you need to put them. And the hinge still works the same way. And they do have locking points right in there. And you should actually be able to keep them in between and move them about in between those locking points. And let me see if I can actually show you. Okay, so this is something else I have noticed. I haven't really moved this wing much, and this stress point, and let's just say all the stress points on here, right down in here, and then pretty much the exact same spots on the other side, right in there, and it's on both wings. And even right in here, those were not there when I got this. They were not there when I was putting this on. And yes, you might have noticed a little bit of paint splotch right there. But with as little as I've even touched these things, there should not be any stress marks on there. So, I mean, it's sturdy plastic. I mean, you can see how thick this plastic is too, but for some reason it's getting stress marks in it from not even touching it. And I can't explain it. And I don't know if anybody else has actually noticed the same thing on theirs, but it's definitely happening. Alright. Alright. Just gonna get his hand spikes out again. Alright, as soon as I've gone over that. Alrighty. And now I do have the one wing on. I do have the one joint in place already. And the only thing now is, as you guessed it, so we can see certain stuff go on, our Titan Predaking here. There we go. Alright. And just so you can see wing difference. You can still use this wing if you plan on keeping, if you keep them dive bomb in beast mode or robot mode, because these wings will just, they look way too big. I did have him in his beast mode with the new wings, and it was definitely not proportionate. So, I mean, I guess it's all based on what you feel is more appropriate for your figure. Okay, so these wings just pop right off the mushroom peg, and this will actually be able to let me show you a little bit easier about this filler piece right here. And yes, I do have to aim this up quite big. Okay, so this spot up here, you can see these two holes right here. This is where these two posts are going to end up sitting. Right up in here. You just push them right up in place. And then we have two tabs on either side, and they just sit right in these slots on either side, right in here. Just put both sides in and then push them together. And then take the legs and just make sure the feet are tucked against, and basically just like this. And then you can actually see that that gap is basically completely filled, except if you actually turn them from side to side. Which, I mean, you could probably see if, you know, it might not work out that way. But, I mean, it does fill in mostly. Alrighty. So, also, while I have the one side off, I might as well just show you this. Of course, you know, it's possible maybe they'll end up falling right off. But here you have this piece right in here. And it's actually going to go into this hole right back in here. So, I mean, you can see the front one, and it's going to go in this one right here. And it actually slides up nice and easy. Honestly, I think maybe they just didn't check tolerances, stupid speech impediment, tolerances, or maybe their measurements were a slight bit off, because I mean, if it's causing stress marks like that, then the tab probably should have been at least a millimeter out further, so that way it's not causing anything undue, as in like undue stress on the spots where it's tabbing in. 1 millimeter would have made all the difference in the world. Even, I think maybe they just wanted to make sure it tabbed in securely, but in this case it tabs in a little bit too securely. But as you can see, it does fill out and give him a little bit of a better shaping from his chest down to his abs or midsection right in here. Of course, you don't get the full effect because his other arm's not on, which we are definitely going to do right now. And we just slide that down. Alright. Let's see if I can get that up in there. And then the wing. And this just slides right over that mushroom peg right there. And clips right on. Alright, so you got the 2 tabs. It's one right up here at the top, the one right down here at the bottom to go in this slot and then this slot. I know you can't see it too well, but if you have Predaking, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And they do tab in pretty good, but just like the originals, they don't hold in forever unless you don't touch. And then the tab right here will still go into the side of the leg right there. Obviously, the tabbing for that still really has not been improved because it still pops out the same exact way. And as far as the feet go, they chose not to do feet. I'm taking a guess that they felt that it wasn't necessary because of how big and sturdy his feet already were. So, yeah, we can open up his wings right here. I don't know, you're not going to really get too much of a view of his other one. But, you know, the one thing I kind of wish is that maybe we had gotten a new cannon, one that kind of resembled more the original. I mean, I know it does kind of resemble the cartoony one, and that was like the idea for it. Seeing as Dive Bomb toy version was on the left side, and then Rampage was over here on the right, but this is going based off cartoon mostly, so it is on the correct side along with the cannon. So and of course, the nothing added. It doesn't seem like anything that's actually added to Razor Claw himself is being affected in any way, even though you can actually, I actually showed you the stress marks on the pieces getting added to him. So yeah. So I mean, that's a plus. But I probably wouldn't play around with them too much, just so that way, you know, no issues, and you know the pieces of your upgrade kit will actually last longer. But here we go as far as the combined mode sword goes. Just to let you know, I don't know if this is the way it was on everybody else's sword, but I had quite an extensive amount of yeah, geez, now I'm blanking on this. It's my bad. Okay, I'm still blanking on it, but obviously, you know, you can tell I had to end up cutting away some of the extra plastic from where it came off the sprue on both sides. And I mean, it was, these two were actually sitting straight while those were there, but the only thing is I had a gap in there like that, and then I took care of it, and it can actually sit flush. And the only thing is, yeah, I mean, it's not sitting flush that way now. So, oh well, it is what it is. But you take the two upper swords right here, just put them together and set those down. And then you take these two swords and we stick those together. And then these two posts will just go into these two holes right here, just like that. And then we take the battle hammer, and those two posts will go into those two holes right there, just like that. And then the two, whatever you want to use them as, kind of weapons. As you notice, the post is not actually completely centered. And if you happen to notice the two holes are not completely centered either. So you match them up. And as you notice, if you put them in the right way, they will look centered. If you twist them around the other way, off center. So you'll actually notice the difference as you're putting them in. If you do actually happen to like them a little bit off center, and you know, so maybe there's like a little bit more, hello. There we go. So that way there's like a little bit more guard on there. Completely up to you. But I do believe they are supposed to be around that way. And we do have a big giant tab right here. Alright. And right here in the palm of his hand we have a slot for the tab. Alright, and then we just tab this into place, if I can find that. Okay, come on. Apparently I'm having trouble finding it here. Oh, jeepers. Oh, okay. There, well, yeah, there we go. I found it. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay. Back in. There we go. Okay. And then we just close the fingers up around the sword. Alright, just move the spikes. Alright, so the new ratchets don't actually make sure that you can hold the arm up while he's got the sword in his hands. However, at least on this side... Oh, come on. Is the hand not in there properly? Okay, I don't know what's going on here. I'm thinking maybe I didn't have the hand in here properly. That's why the arm decided it was gonna come loose. But, there we go. Alright, come on. Come on, arm. Come on, arm. Come on. I don't know. Apparently the Rampage's legs are deciding not to hold together at the moment, which that hasn't happened before. But if you use his elbow joint, you can actually get the arm to hold higher. You just have to be careful how you position the shoulder. You don't want it to go too high. Obviously, if you move him a little bit too much, it is definitely possible that the arm will actually come down further than you want. But, I mean, it is a cool kit, and no explanation as to why certain areas of the plastic on this kit are actually starting to stress. I just hope that they don't break, because I really don't want to have to buy another one. But yeah, it's a cool kit. Definitely worth getting it, in my book. So, alrighty, so I'm just going to leave him sitting right there, and there's definitely one thing I am going to be talking about here. I don't know when there is going to be another upgrade kit out. I have 2 more to do, and they're both for the same character. So, and just so everybody knows, I go online and I check for new upgrade kits at least 3 times a week. And so far, nothing else has come out. I know at one point, Transform Dreamwave said that they were going to work on a kit for Menasor, which would be great. Something else that would be great would be if Takara and Hasbro come out with a new toy line following the Prime Wars trilogy. So that way we can get some more characters that were not released with these 3 lines. Because we still need 2 Titans, one of which they ended up releasing for the War of Cybertron Siege series, which I'm guessing if they do another line, it will be the same character, except without all the dry brushing effects, you know, the battle damage or whatever. Which would be okay. And hopefully it would also have a little bit of extras, you know, or whatnot. At least hopefully extras. And then the other Titan would be Scorponok, obviously. And obviously we have a Generations Springer. We did not get him with this line. And, oh, jeez. There are actually a few characters we didn't get. I know they tried to give us most of the figures. I mean, trying to give us like 3 Hot Rods, Rodimus Primes. Well, they finally got it right with Power of the Primes, didn't they? And they finally got like a more Optimus Prime. for Power of the Primes, instead of giving us this weird looking figure. I mean, the only way you could get around that was to actually buy an upgrade kit, which made him look really freaking cool. But yeah, I mean, quite a number of figures that we should have gotten, and we didn't. Obviously, we saw some releases that they gave us from previous generations line that were either re-released for this line or a completely new design of the same figure for these lines. So, I mean, unless they actually come out with these other figures and people can actually do more upgrade kits on them, there isn't going to be much out there as far as upgrade kits. So, the only thing I could probably end up doing is see if maybe there's some fixes. I mean, I know that one of the fixes I could do is see if I can do what I said I was going to do with these new ratchet joints. See if maybe I could improve what's already there just so they don't break any further. I mean, I have something for Transformers, but it's not an upgrade kit. And that's probably going to be within 3 weeks out. I do have the Star Wars Build Your Own R2-D2 coming out Friday, which will be tomorrow or today, depending on the time that this video is getting uploaded. And by Tuesday or Wednesday, I will have another Build Your Own Star Wars X-Wing out, which is essentially Luke's Red 5 from the original Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. So, and there has been one thing that I have been debating on doing or not. Another build kit, kind of like the Star Wars ones, but it's not Star Wars though. I just don't know if I'm gonna do that build in my own time and not do it as like here you go, this is how it's done kind of thing, the same way I'm doing with R2 and the X-Wing. And I'm holding off on that because I'm trying to wait and see if there is any or will be any upgrade kits that will be coming out, because I really like doing these upgrade kits for you guys. So, you know, I mean, plenty of people do the reviews on the toys, and the only real way to do that is to do, you know, video editing, you know. But I don't do that. And for me to do, you know, third party or, you know, Hasbro, Takara toy review would just take way too long, and I highly doubt you guys would actually want to watch like an hour and a half video of, you know, transforming and, you know, yada 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 yada. Like I said, plenty of people out there already do that kind of stuff. Me, I just like doing building and fixes. So, I want to get your guys' opinion though. Honestly, what do you think? It could be based on, you know, past upgrade kits. You know, I mean, I know, you know, Perfect Effect had its own Menasor kit, and I was just a little too late to get it from any of the online stores, and eBay would cost way too much. And even then, I have the Hasbro version. So the coloring is not completely perfect, but at least I have all the intended people, you know, because I did pay the extra amount to give him the characters that he needed to have. So, but yeah, just, you know, tell me what you're thinking about possible upgrades or whatever. Any idea of anything I can do as far as Transformers if no upgrade kits happen to come out. Uh, you know, I will greatly appreciate any opinions. Alright, so until any of my next videos, whether it's Star Wars or Transformers related, or possibly anything else I might end up putting out, because I am a fan of many multiple things. Because, you know, I am a child of the early 80s, so there was quite a bit to grow up with. So, whatever you guys think you have an idea for, of something I could possibly do, let me know. Just put it in the comment section below. And yeah, I know I'm rambling on, but, you know, because, I mean, last I checked, I have 127 subscribers, which I think is pretty awesome. So if you guys help me with any content, any other content other than what I'm already doing, and especially if it's something that, you know, like this, like the Transformers, like upgrades or whatnot, if those happen to not be around for a while, yeah, I mean, I would kind of really like to know if you guys do have any ideas for me. So, I guess I'll just end it here and say thanks for watching.